Hi everyone, I'm Suifang, a researcher at Studio for Narrative Space, CTU of Hong Kong. Today, I'm super excited to co-present our work with Qinshi, Eternagram, probing player attitude toward climate change using a ChatGPT-driven text-based adventure. Research has long shown an interest in starting attitude toward climate change. However, the current method used to capture genuine opinion has been found to be ineffective. One primary reason is that climate issues are frequently conceptualized as distant concerns, discussed predominantly at the macro level. When an issue feels far away, whether in time, space, or relevance to daily life, it is hard for people to feel connected, such as using questionnaire. It often lacks the details and the contextual information necessary for individuals to feel engaged and related. In addition, when individuals are aware that they've been questioned about climate issues, there is a tendency to act more environmentally friendly than they might truly be. To tackle the problem, we create an open-world text adventure game where players can freely explore by simply chatting with a large language model-driven game agent. Through exposure to this gamified environment, we aim to pull people's attitude toward climate issues. We find that game as assessment tool offers several benefits. A well-crafted game narrative can present a climate scenario that is rich in details. Through interactive gameplay, players feel engaged and immersed. We use GPT to generate human-like, context-aware message, allowing for nature interactions. By including AI chatbot in our game, we hope to offer a dynamic experience that adjusts to how players interact with the game. From the player's point of view, our game goes like this. It begins on a regular day of browsing the internet and looking at social media, when all of a sudden, the player runs into someone who has lost his memory and needs help. The player tries to help this person recover his memory. Through their conversations, it becomes apparent that this stranger is not just odd in usual sense. He apparently comes from a future and a mystery place unlike any other. Gradually, the player finds out that getting the stranger memory back is tied to what he can remember about his homeland. As player dives into the detail of this very place, the player learns about a big story of a world struggling with climate crisis and what caused it. By the end of the game, the player learns that the stranger is actually an alien auditing boat sent to monitor how society manages the environment. Due to a glitch, it accidentally becomes trapped in our world's digital signals. One big challenge in making this game is finding a balance between two things, the way GPT works and how we tell the story. GPT lets players talk about anything they can think of, which means the conversation can go in any directions. But we want to learn about what people think about climate change, which means we need to guide the plot development a certain way. We found a way to solve this by thoughtfully designing our game. At the beginning of each scene, we tell players our main goals, to help the game character get his lost memory back. This makes it clear what players should talk, in certain level, scope down the conversations. Because the conversation topic is set, players are likely to ask questions such as, how do you feel? Can you recall your name? Or can you remember where your home is? When the game system detects a location-related question input, it acts as a trigger, open up a new direction for conversations. Our in-game chatbot then starts asking questions to help him remember more about this location, which we deliberately designed as being affected by climate devastations. As the conversation unfolds, players will learn more about this world, including detailed depiction of climate issues and the scene of environment damage. Here, you can see that we have designed a game loop framework that supports free input. Players continue to collect clues till they reach a trigger that allows them to advance to the next scenes, where a new conversation topic awaits them. However, during the conversation, players can be themselves, freely explore whatever they want through dialogue. This isn't like the usual dialogue system you see in many RPG games, for example, where conversation with non-playable character are basically a list, and the player can only pick one option from a dialogue wheel.
I'm Qinshi. Today I'm excited to share with you the methodology of our study, which focused on these two research questions. We conducted a study to explore correlation between climate attitude assessments with traditional survey methods, and we successfully engaged 33 individuals in our research. So given that the majority of our participants are Chinese, it's important to note that our research findings may not fully represent the viewpoints and responses of other racial or ethnic groups. So the experiment we conducted mainly includes three parts: a pre-survey, an in-game survey, and a post-survey. These sections are identical, except the in-game test items are transcribed to fit the game's narrative design. For the in-game section, we embedded climate attitude questions at the end of the game after players are fully introduced to our design climate scenario. We also collected players' demographic information along with their personality and political tendencies, as these are considered by previous studies to be factors that affect climate attitudes. Our findings reveal a significant positive correlation between pre- and post-test scores, indicating a fundamental stability in participants' attitudes towards climate change. This suggests that their basic stance on this issue did not undergo dramatic changes due to the gameplay. However, we observed a strong positive correlation between the in-game data and the post-test data, but not with the pre-test data for same individuals. So this indicates that an effective immersive game experience in our deliberately designed climate scenarios is capable of being perceived and can eventually result in an attitude change. Another possibility is that the transcription of in-game question items, which are derivatives of the original climate attitude survey, may help to the attitude shift due to a distortion of the original survey. Moving to our integrating sub-findings, here, openness to experiments stands out as a particularly significant predictor compared to other big 5 personality traits. But that's not all. We also observe a fascinating trait in political behavior. Participants' political passion also had positive associations with their self-reported climate opinions, both before and after the game. So this indicates that those traits and elements may serve as potential indicator of both pre- and post-climate attitudes.
But how should we interpret our main findings? We believe what we find can be regarded as an assimilating effect. After playing the game, participants' views on climate issues start to align more closely with those depicted in game world. The game slightly changed those attitudes, knocking them within the scope of their original beliefs instead of completely transforming them. This suggests that our design is able to immerse players in the game world. The method is similar to how some climate psychologists hear people think about the future of climate in a way that feels closer and more related to them. Beyond that, our effort in designing a GPT-compatible game mechanic have allowed us to implement free dialogue in storytelling without compromising too much the story's structure integrity. Finally, this study also contributes to broaden the understanding of interplay between the climate attitude, personality, and the political inclination. This work was done with the awesome team member Latisha, Besariani, Hendra, and Qinshi Zhang with help of Dr. Jussi Holopainen and under the supervision of Dr. Ri LC at City University of Hong Kong.